My grandfather asked if I liked the house he bought me. I didn't know what he meant. My mother did. That Christmas I learned that some people don't steal your things. They steal your future and call it love. The turkey was perfect. Golden skin, steam rising like prayers into the dining room air. My mother had outdone herself. Cranberry sauce in a crystal bowl, mashed potatoes whipped to clouds, green beans glistening with butter. Christmas lights blinked red and green through the window, casting soft shadows across my father's face as he carved the bird with surgical precision. I was 24, old enough to notice the fine lines around my mother's eyes, the gray threading through my father's temples. Old enough to appreciate these moments. Family, warmth, the illusion of permanence. My grandfather sat at the head of the table, his suit jacket pressed, his thin hands folded over his plate. He'd always been the quiet pillar of our family. Wealthy but humble. Generous but never showy. When my grandmother died 6 years ago, something dimmed in him, but he still showed up. Every holiday. Every birthday. Always with that gentle smile. "More wine, Dad?" my mother asked, reaching for the bottle. He waved her off, eyes twinkling behind wire-rimmed glasses. Then he turned to me. "Sweetheart," he said, voice warm as the fireplace crackling in the next room. "I've been meaning to ask. Do you like the house I bought for you?" The room didn't change. The lights kept blinking. My father's knife kept moving through meat. But something inside me went still. "What house?" I said. The knife stopped. My mother's hand froze halfway to her wine glass. Her face. I'll never forget her face. It drained of color like someone had pulled a plug. Her mouth opened. Closed. Her eyes darted to my father, then to Grandpa, then to her plate. My father cleared his throat. "Dad, maybe we should." "What house?" I repeated louder now. Grandpa's smile faltered. He looked confused, then concerned. "The house on Maple Street. The one I put in your name when you turned 18. For your future. I transferred the deed 6 years ago. The air left my lungs. 6 years ago I was 18. Graduating high school. Planning for college. My parents told me money was tight. That I'd need to work part-time, take out loans, be responsible. I remembered my mother crying at the kitchen table. Bills spread like tarot cards predicting disaster. I remembered believing her. I don't. My voice cracked. I don't have a house. Grandpa's face shifted from confusion to something darker. He looked at my mother. Really looked at her. And in that look I saw him understand everything before I did. "Linda," he said quietly, "where is the house?" My mother's hands were shaking. She set down her wine glass, picked it up, set it down again. "We can explain," she whispered. "Where is the house?" My father stood abruptly, chair scraping like nails on a chalkboard. "This isn't the time, Dad. It's Christmas. We're family. Can we just—" "Did you sell my house?" I asked. The question hung in the air like smoke. My mother started crying. Not the pretty kind of crying. The ugly, desperate kind. The kind that says I've been caught. "We needed the money," she said. "You were so young. You didn't understand. We were drowning. The mortgage, the car payments, your father's business. You sold my house." It wasn't a question anymore. My grandfather stood slowly, like a man whose bones suddenly remembered they were old. He looked at his daughter, my mother, with an expression I'd never seen before. Disappointment so profound it looked like grief. "You forged her signature," he said. My mother sobbed. My father put his arm around her. I stood up. The room tilted. I walked to the door, grabbed my coat. "Wait," my mother called. "Please. Let us explain. We're your parents. We love you. We—" I turned. Looked at her. Really looked. And I didn't recognize the woman staring back. "No," I said. "You don't." I left the turkey on the table. Left the lights blinking. Left the warmth. Outside the snow was falling. Silent. Cold. Clean. I stood in the driveway and felt something inside me crack open. Not like a breaking. Like a hatching. I drove to a parking lot. Turned off the engine. Sat in the dark. My hands were shaking. Not from cold. From rage so pure it felt like electricity in my veins. They called. 17 times. I didn't answer. Then my grandfather called. I didn't know, he said, voice breaking. I swear to God I didn't know. I believe you, I said. I'll fix this. I'll buy you another. No, sweetheart. I need to do this myself. Silence. Then, okay. I hung up, opened my phone, typed into Google property records Maple Street. It took 10 minutes to find the house. A modest 3-bedroom with a front porch and a maple tree in the yard. Purchase price, $180,000. Transferred to my name at 18. Sold 5 years ago for $210,000. Buyer, a young couple with a baby. Seller, my parents. Using a forged power of attorney with my signature. I stared at that signature. My name in my mother's handwriting. They hadn't just stolen from me. They'd erased me. Turned me into paperwork. A transaction. I thought about every Christmas after that. Every birthday. Every time they hugged me and said they loved me. Every time they complained about money while driving a new car. While booking vacations to Cancun. While remodeling their kitchen. I thought about my student loans. $40,000 in debt for a degree I paid for while they lived off stolen money. I thought about trust. How it's built slowly, brick by brick, year by year. And how it shatters in a single dinner question. I didn't cry. Crying was soft. This feeling was glass and iron. I called a lawyer. I need someone who handles fraud, I said. Forgery. Theft. The receptionist's voice was professional, detached. Can you describe the situation? My parents stole my house. A pause. Then, we can see you tomorrow at 9. I hung up. Looked at my phone. 17 missed calls from Mom. 12 from Dad. I blocked both numbers. Then I drove home to my tiny apartment, the one I rented because I thought I had nothing, and sat on my second-hand couch in the dark. Outside, the city hummed. Cars passed. Lives continued. The world kept spinning. But inside me something had stopped. Or maybe it had finally started. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the ceiling. Traced the cracks in the plaster. Thought about all the ways a person can disappear while still breathing. By morning I knew 3 things. 1. I would never speak to my parents again unless legally required. 2. I would get every penny back. 3. I would do it quietly. Coldly. With the kind of precision that doesn't need to scream. Revenge isn't loud. It's paperwork. It's patience. It's justice served on a silver platter while smiling. The law office smelled like leather and old books. The lawyer, a woman in her 50s named Catherine Park, listened without interrupting. I showed her everything. The deed, the forged signature, bank records I'd pulled from old emails, photos of my parents' renovated kitchen timestamped 2 months after the house sale. She took notes. Her face gave nothing away. This is fraud, she said finally. Forgery. Potentially criminal theft. Can we win? She looked me in the eye. Yes. How long? 6 months to a year. Maybe longer. It'll be expensive. It'll be ugly. Your parents will fight back. They'll try to manipulate you. Guilt you. Make you the villain. I know. She studied me. Most people reconcile before trial. Family pressure. Guilt. The emotional cost. I'm not most people. She smiled. Thin. Professional. Good. I don't take losing cases. I hired her that day. Used my credit card. Went into more debt for the chance at justice. I stopped going to family events. Ignored texts from aunts asking what happened. Cousins confused about why I wasn't at Thanksgiving. My mother sent a card, "We love you. Please forgive us. We're still your parents." I burned it. My father tried a different approach, anger. Called from a friend's phone. Screaming about disrespect, ingratitude, betrayal. "You're going to sue your own parents," he yelled. "You forged my signature," I said calmly. "We gave you life. And then you stole my future. We're even." I hung up. Blocked that number too. The isolation was strange. Liberating. I'd spent 24 years performing the role of dutiful daughter. Now, alone in my apartment, I didn't have to pretend anymore. I worked. Saved money. Researched property law. Learned terms like quiet title action and restitution damages. At night I imagined the trial. My mother on the stand lying. My father's face when the verdict came down. The house I'd never seen but somehow owned briefly. In paperwork and stolen dreams. My grandfather called every week. How are you holding up? Fine. You don't sound fine. I am. One night he said, you know, when your grandmother died, I thought I'd never feel anything again. But this, watching my daughter do this to you, this hurts worse. I'm sorry. Don't be. You're the only one telling the truth. That's when I cried. Not for my parents. For him. For the way betrayal echoes through generations. Breaking people who didn't even commit the crime. I'll fix this, he said. I'll buy you 10 houses. I don't want charity. I want justice. Then you'll have it. He wired $15,000 to my legal fund. Refused to let me refuse. Your grandmother would have done the same, he said. I used the money to expand the case. Catherine dug deeper. Found more. Your college fund, she said one afternoon, voice tight. The one your grandmother set up. $25,000. Your parents withdrew it when you were 19. Told the bank you authorized it. I felt my stomach drop. There's more, Catherine said. A trust. Set to mature when you turn 25. $50,000. They borrowed against it. Emptied it. The room spun. How much total? I whispered. She looked at her notes. $210,000 from the house. $25,000 from the college fund. $50,000 from the trust. Plus interest and damages. She paused. We're looking at over $300,000. I laughed. Came out wrong. Hello. They stole my entire life. Yes, Catherine said. They did. I went home. Sat on my couch. Stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. My mother from a new number. Please. We're your family. Don't do this. I typed back. You stopped being my family when you forged my name. Then I blocked her. Again. The descent wasn't into darkness. It was into clarity. Cold, sharp, painful clarity. I wasn't the villain. I was the victim finally waking up. And I was done sleeping. I went to dinner at their house. They didn't expect it. My mother answered the door, face cautious, hopeful. You came, she breathed. I came. Inside, everything looked the same. The remodeled kitchen. The leather couch. The flat-screen TV. All purchased with my stolen money. My father shook my hand. Stiff. Awkward. We're glad you're here, he said. Liar, I thought. But I smiled. Dinner was tense. They asked about work. I asked about their vacation. We danced around the crater in the middle of the table. The lawsuit, the betrayal, the money. We want to make this right, my mother said finally. Maybe we can work something out. Without lawyers. Like what? We could pay you back. Over time. Monthly installments. I sipped my water. How much? We were thinking. Maybe $500 a month? I did the math in my head. At $500 a month, it would take them 50 years to repay $300,000. That's generous, I said. My mother's face brightened. So you'll drop the lawsuit? No. Her face fell. But thank you for the offer. I'll mention it to my lawyer. I left before dessert. Hugged them both. Felt nothing. In the car I called Catherine. They offered me $500 a month. She snorted. Insult to injury. Keep a record of that conversation. Shows consciousness of guilt. I did. I kept records of everything. Every text. Every call. Every attempt at manipulation disguised as reconciliation. I visited my grandfather. He lived in a large house on the edge of town, filled with photos of my grandmother, antique furniture, and the quiet loneliness of widowhood. You're playing chess, he said, pouring tea. I learned from the best. He smiled. Sad. Proud. Your grandmother would have liked you. The real you. Not the version your parents tried to shape. Tell me about her. He did. Stories of a woman I barely remembered. Strong. Principled. Unforgiving of injustice. She once sued her own brother, he said. He tried to steal her inheritance. She won. Never spoke to him again. Did she regret it? No. She said some people mistake kindness for weakness. And when they do, you show them the difference. I sipped my tea. It was bitter. Perfect. I'm not doing this for revenge, I said. I know. I'm doing it because it's right. I know that too. He reached across the table, took my hand. His skin was thin, spotted with age, but his grip was strong. You're not alone in this, he said. I know. But some nights I felt alone. Isolated. Like I'd chosen justice over family and lost both. Then I'd remember the forged signature. The stolen house. The years of lies. And I'd feel alone but not lonely. There's a difference. Catherine called on a Tuesday. We have a problem. My stomach dropped. What? Your parents filed a countersuit, claiming you're trying to extort them. That the house was a gift to the family, not to you specifically. That your grandfather's memory is faulty due to age. I felt rage flood my chest. That's insane. It's strategy. They're going scorched earth. What do? We prove intent. I've subpoenaed bank records, emails, text messages. If they discuss this, if there's any record of them planning to sell your house, we have them. 3 weeks later she called again. We found something. I met her at the office. She slid a printed email across the desk. From my mother to my father. Dated 6 years ago. Subject: the Maple Street property. We need to move fast. Dad put it in her name, but she's only 18. She won't check records. We can sell it before she even knows it exists. Use the money for the kitchen and the Cancun trip. She'll never find out. I read it twice. 3 times. They planned it, I whispered. Premeditated fraud, Catherine said. This changes everything. I felt sick. Not because I was surprised. Because now I had proof that my mother, the woman who gave birth to me, who braided my hair, who kissed my scraped knees, had sat at a computer and typed out my betrayal like a grocery list. There's more, Catherine said. She showed me texts between my parents from 3 years ago. Dad. Think she'll ever find out about the trust? Mom. Not if we're careful. She trusts us. Dad, good. We earned this. We raised her. It's basically ours anyway. I set down the phone. Breathed slowly. Are you okay? Catherine asked. No. Good. Use that. I went home. Called my grandfather. They planned it, I said. All of it. It wasn't desperation. It was greed. He was quiet for a long time. I'm sorry, he finally said. For what? For raising someone capable of this. You didn't. They chose this. Another silence. When I die, he said, everything goes to you. The house. The savings. Everything. I've already changed my will. Grandpa, I'm not doing this out of guilt. I'm doing it because you're the only one who deserves it. I cried. Not from sadness. From exhaustion. From carrying the weight of other people's cruelty. I love you, I said. I love you too, sweetheart. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling thinking about trust. How it's not just broken. It's murdered. Buried. Erased. I thought about my mother's email. The casual cruelty of it. She'll never find out. But I did find out. And now they'd find out what happens when you underestimate the person you wronged. My grandfather started coming to legal meetings. He sat beside me, silent but present. A living reminder that I wasn't fighting alone. Catherine treated him with quiet respect. Asked his opinion. Listened when he spoke. Your granddaughter is remarkable, she told him once. I know, he said, smiling at me. She gets it from her grandmother. We fell into a routine. Weekly dinners at his house. Legal updates. Stories about my grandmother. He told me about the year they almost lost everything. How his business partner embezzled funds. How my grandmother tracked down every stolen dollar and took him to court. She was fierce, he said. Like you. I don't feel fierce. I feel tired. That's how you know you're doing it right. Easy revenge is hollow. This costs something. One night he asked, do you hate them? I thought about it. Really thought. No, I said finally. I don't hate them. I just don't love them anymore. And that's worse. He nodded. Love can turn to hate. But when it turns to nothing, that's when you know it's really over. We sat in silence. The grandfather clock in the hall ticked steadily. Do you regret it? he asked. Suing them? No. Even though it means losing your family? I didn't lose my family. They did. I just stopped pretending we had one. He reached over, squeezed my hand. Your grandmother would have been so proud of you. Those words mattered more than any verdict. We became a team. Grandpa and me. Two people bound by loss and determination. He funded the case. I fought it. He made me dinner. I made him laugh. We healed each other slowly, in the quiet spaces between legal motions and court dates. One Sunday we planted flowers in his garden. Your grandmother loved roses, he said, kneeling in the dirt. Said they were proof that beauty and pain could coexist. I planted a rose bush beside his. Red. Thorned. Resilient. I'm glad I have you, I said. I'm glad I have you too. It wasn't the family I was born into, but it was the family I chose. And that made all the difference. The call came at 2 a.m. My mother. From another new number. Your grandfather is poisoning you against us, she said. Voice slurred. Drunk. He's manipulating you. We're your parents. We made a mistake. One mistake. And you're destroying us. I should have hung up. But I didn't. One mistake. I said quietly. You stole from me for 6 years. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. We were desperate. You went to Cancun. Silence. You remodeled your kitchen. More silence. You bought a new car. We needed those things. More than I needed my future? She started crying. The ugly kind again. Please, she sobbed. You're killing me. This lawsuit is killing me. I can't sleep. I can't eat. Your father's business is suffering. We might lose the house. Is that what you want? To destroy us? For a moment, just a moment, I felt guilt. Then I remembered the email. She'll never find out. You did this, I said. Not me. You stole. You lied. You forged my name. These are consequences. Not revenge. You've changed. You're cruel now. Cold. No, I said. I just stopped being naive. I hung up. Blocked the number. Sat in the dark. Had I changed? Was I cruel? I called my grandfather. Did I wake you? No. I don't sleep much anymore. What's wrong? I told him about the call. She's trying to manipulate you, he said. Make you feel guilty for their crimes. I know. But what if I am being cruel? What if? Stop. Listen to me. Cruelty is forging your child's signature to steal her house. Cruelty is lying for 6 years. Justice is making them face consequences. You are not cruel. You are strong. There's a difference. I exhaled. Okay. Say it back. I am not cruel. I am strong. I am not cruel. I am strong. Again. I am not cruel. I am strong. Good. Now go to sleep. We have a war to win. I tried to sleep, but doubt lingered. What if they really did lose everything? What if they ended up homeless? Destroyed? Would I feel vindicated? Or guilty? I didn't know. And that scared me more than anything. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. My parents sat with their lawyer, a man in a cheap suit who looked tired. I sat with Catherine and my grandfather. The judge, a woman in her 60s with sharp eyes, reviewed the case. This is a civil suit alleging fraud, forgery, and theft, she said. Miss Carter, you claim your parents sold property that was legally yours without consent. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. And you have evidence? Catherine stood. Presented the deed. The forged power of attorney. The bank records. The emails. The texts. My mother's lawyer objected weakly. Called it a family misunderstanding. Catherine destroyed him. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is documented, premeditated theft. The judge read the emails. The texts. Looked at my parents. Did you sell the property on Maple Street without your daughter's knowledge? My mother started crying. My father stared at the table. We were desperate, my father said. That's not what I asked. Did you forge her signature? Silence. Answer the question. Yes, my father whispered. The courtroom felt airless. The judge reviewed more documents. Took her time. Finally she spoke. I find in favor of the plaintiff. The defendants are ordered to pay full restitution. $210,000 for the house sale, $25,000 for the college fund, $50,000 for the trust fund, plus interest and legal fees. Total, $320,000. Additionally, I'm referring this case to the district attorney for criminal investigation. My mother gasped. My father's face went white. Your Honor, please, their lawyer started. I've made my ruling. This court is adjourned. The gavel struck. I sat perfectly still. It was over. My mother turned to me. Her face destroyed. Broken. Are you happy now? She said. You've ruined us. I stood. Looked at her. Really looked. No, I said quietly. You ruined yourselves. I just stopped letting you ruin me too. I walked out. My grandfather beside me. Outside the sun was shining. Painfully bright. You did it, he said. We did it. He hugged me. I felt his shoulders shake. He was crying. I'm so sorry, he whispered, that they put you through this. It's not your fault. I know, but I'm still sorry. We stood there. Grandfather and granddaughter. Survivors of betrayal. Catherine joined us. That was beautiful, she said. You held your ground. Didn't waver. I'm proud of you. Thank you. For everything. She smiled. Go celebrate. You earned it. But I didn't feel like celebrating. I felt empty. Relieved. Sad. Justice isn't joyful. It's necessary. There's a difference. 6 months later, I stood in front of a house. Not the house on Maple Street. That was someone else's home now. This was a different house. Smaller. Newer. Bought with restitution money. My grandfather stood beside me, holding a sapling tree. Red maple, he said. Like the street you should have grown up on. We planted it together in the front yard. I didn't speak to my parents. They called sometimes. Left voicemails. I deleted them without listening. They paid the restitution in monthly installments. It would take them 15 years. I didn't feel guilty. My grandfather visited every week. We cooked dinner. Watched old movies. Talked about everything and nothing. Are you happy? He asked one night. I thought about it. I'm not happy. But I'm free. And that's better. He nodded. Your grandmother used to say that peace isn't the absence of conflict. It's the presence of integrity. I like that. She'd like you. Winter came. Then spring. The maple tree grew. I got a promotion at work. Paid off my student loans. Started therapy. I learned that healing isn't linear. Some days I was fine. Some days I cried in the shower. But I never regretted it. One morning, I woke up and realized I hadn't thought about my parents in 3 days. That felt like victory. I stood on my porch, coffee in hand, watching the maple tree sway in the breeze. Roots growing where lies once lived. The house was mine. Really mine. Legally. Ethically. Completely. And that was enough. Not justice through revenge. Justice through restoration. I called my grandfather. I'm happy, I said. I'm glad, he said. And I was. Not because they suffered, but because I was finally free. That's the thing about revenge. Real revenge isn't making them hurt. It's making sure they can never hurt you again. And then moving on. Without them. Into a life they can't touch. That's the sweetest revenge of all. What would you have done in her place? Was justice enough, or does family deserve forgiveness no matter what? Share your thoughts below. Let's talk about trust, betrayal, and what we owe the people who wronged us. Thanks for watching my story till the end. Subscribe for more exclusive stories.